Happy Thanksgiving. From the studio in Nitro, West Virginia, this is Unreasonable Doubt. It's a podcast about West Virginia University basketball. I'm Josh Witt, and I told you in the offseason that Darren DeVries is a big overtime guy. 8 times in the last 2 seasons he coached at Drake, they played overtime games. That's a lot. In a 3-game, 3-day tournament, overtimes are not, it's not ideal if you're trying to win. I mean, it means that you didn't lose in regulation, but West Virginia had a 17-hour turnaround. Credit to them, they took this game to overtime. 2 games, 2 overtimes, 1 Gonzaga win, and 1 Louisville loss. They lost 79-70 to the Cardinals today. You can't break every curse. Gonzaga curse, if that's a thing, lifted. Louisville curse, and I'm only thinking of the Elite Eight game in 2005 that Louisville came back and won in overtime to go to the Final Four. That's not really a curse, but when I think of Louisville, sadly, that's the thing I have in mind. Chucky Hepburn, he beat us. He just kept attacking, kept getting to the rim, got some calls, had a career-high 32 points. If the guy that Sencire Harris guards scores 32, you tip your cap, then you move on. 14 of those 32 came from the line, 10 points scored in overtime. He was the best guy on the floor tonight, on a floor that had Javon Small. And this game was all over the place. It was in the tempo that WVU needed to have a chance. They did not play Louisville speed for most of the game. And West Virginia was up at the half. They were up 9 early in the second half. Louisville comes back and actually takes a 7-point lead with about 4 minutes left. West Virginia's tired. They played overtime yesterday. Could have packed it in. Absolutely did not. Toby Okati scored on a post-up. Amani made a couple of free throws. Then Javon made a fadeaway near the free throw line. Toby makes another shot. West Virginia's back in the lead with 2 minutes to go. And it's a tie game. West Virginia has the ball. 2-second difference in the shot clock and the end of regulation. They're holding the ball. And Javon Small just loses track of time. Starts the action too late. Ends up getting a shot clock violation. It's not what DeVries drew up. You could just see the kind of the panic. Hey, let's get it moving here. I mean, you're watching it like, what are we doing? Why are we waiting till the last second here? And in overtime, Tucker DeVries fouls out. Hepburn made what felt like, he scored 10 in overtime. It felt like he made 25 free throws. And that was the game. But on fumes, Javon Small, awesome. So many clutch shots. He's the main guy. 6 games into the season, Javon Small is the leader on the floor and puts the team on his shoulders. Made so many clutch shots today, including that fadeaway in the 8-0 run and a layup to take a lead late. 26 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals. Just his energy's awesome. He put it all out there. And they still got one more game. But Javon Small, 2 games in the Bahamas, 2 awesome games. He's killing it in ballrooms and overall. Amani had another great game. 19 points, 5 rebounds. West Virginia still hasn't lost in regulation when he shoots at least 4 threes. Sencire, it's not like he didn't play solid defense today. He did. Hepburn had a good day, but he got in foul trouble late. Sencire did. Couldn't get his shot to fall. He's now 0 of 10 from 3 for the season. There was a great interaction on Twitter X between Sencire and @SmokingMusket. @SmokingMusket posted, Sencire Harris rocks. I do not care that he may never hit a 3. And Sencire responded, after the game in third person. So number one, he responded. Number two, I mean, it's just such an awesome move. I'm not capable of it. I can't in good faith. I do not have the confidence to say Josh is going to be a good podcaster today. Can't do it. People with irrational confidence can go third person. Or, you could go like a little more pessimistic way of describing somebody that goes third person. I love it from a basketball player, and I love it from Sencire Harris. His response was, again, in third person, Sencire is going to hit a three. I'm just trying to find it. And some kind of face emoji. Sencire Harris, let's be clear, he does in fact rock. At Smoking Musket, absolutely correct in that Sencire Harris rocks. I'm watching him. When West Virginia's on defense, with respect to everybody else, I'm watching Sencire guard whoever he's guarding. I'm locked in on that. It's fascinating. I love watching him play defense. He is going to find it. He's not going to go 0 for whatever this season. But he started 0 for 10. And again, you tip the cap if the guy he's guarding goes for 32. Tucker had 3 blocks, but he struggled with foul trouble. I told you he fouled out in overtime and just did not have clutch moments like he did in the Gonzaga game. Toby Okani had a solid game. Great contributions. That's what you need from Toby Okani. That he did what he needed to do today as far as helping out on the offensive side. But only 3 bench points a day. So if you're keeping track, 2 games, 90 minutes of basketball, West Virginia's bench has scored 5 points, all of them from Jonathan Powell. Rebounding today took a slight step back, gave up some extra opportunities that Louisville took advantage of, putbacks, kicking it out for threes. But Louisville outscored WVU by 15 at the free throw line. And that's where, if you boiled down the game to one stat, is that Louisville got to the free throw line a lot, and West Virginia got there way less. And in a close game, that's the stat you look at. That was the difference of the game. So to recap, West Virginia was called for almost double the fouls of their opponent. They got out-rebounded. Tucker was held to 9 points. The bench scored 3. And yet we had the ball. I don't play for the team. West Virginia had the ball with a chance to win in regulation. It's just a fun product to watch. Very excited to watch this team for another 20-some games. Random thoughts for this episode of Unreasonable Doubt. Not one ball has hit the ceiling yet. I keep waiting for this. They're in a ballroom. You see kind of the WVU basketball X feed is showing pictures from the ballroom. They show the ceiling. It looks so close. I just want it to happen once before they leave the Bahamas. I'm not asking for much. The other thing that happened today was in the post-game press conference. Now, is Darren DeVries, is he saying interesting things in press conferences? No. We've established this. He's a real G. He moves in silence like lasagna, okay? You're not going to get a ton from him. They asked him about the last play. He said what everybody saw. We should have gotten the action a couple of seconds earlier. We would have liked to have done that. But he's not a quote machine. However, there was something awesome that happened in the post-game press conference. They're doing Zoom press conferences. Not a ton of media. I don't know if anybody from West Virginia press is in the Bahamas. So they're doing these Zoom conferences. And DeVries has answered a couple of questions. Maybe one of the players has answered a few questions. I believe it was Javon, and Amani was at the podium with Coach DeVries. The moderator calls Bob Herzl. You know Bob Herzl, longtime West Virginia sports media guy. I enjoy Bob Herzl. I like what he puts down. He gives him the floor, and Bob Herzl, I'm not going to do it justice. You need to listen to the post-game press conference. But he says, with his opportunity, this question is for Small. I guess you'll be too tired to eat turkey tonight, huh? And Javon Small, if you watch him in these press conferences, it's not like he's combative, but he asks reporters to repeat their questions, short answers, to the point answers. And a guy like Javon Small, when he gets a question, I guess you'll be too tired for I guess you'll be too tired to eat turkey tonight, huh? When he gets that question, what he did was just stone cold silence. And to the moderator's credit, he didn't spend a lot of time waiting for Javon to say something and just called on the next guy to ask a question. It was hilarious. I'm saying this with love and respect to Bob Herzl. Probably not. I mean, what? If somebody asked me that, hey, Josh, this question is for Josh. I guess you'll be too tired to eat turkey tonight, huh? Yep. Yeah, Bob, I'm going to be pretty tired. Or, yeah, I'm tired, but I've always got room for turkey. I don't know. And I'm not a press guy, so I don't know how that fits into what you write up after West Virginia loses in the semifinals of the battle for Atlantis. It is Thanksgiving. I get it. I get a turkey question is because it's Thanksgiving Day. I don't know. It was awesome. And I really appreciated that on both sides. Bob Herzl asking that question and Javon Small attacked that question with stone cold silence. Thank you for that. Unreasonable Doubt is under the Smoking Musket umbrella. Go to smokingmusket.com. Read the articles about WVU sports. Listen to West by Pod, another podcast under the Smoking Musket umbrella about football. Joel and Jordan do a great job there. Join the Smoking Musket Discord. Follow Smoking Musket on social media. Do all that stuff and join me underneath the Smoking Musket umbrella. The next game for WVU is the third place game. Black Friday, 3 p.m.ish, ESPN2. So you move from ESPN proper to ESPN2. And West Virginia is playing a Big 12 foe in Arizona. This will not count as a conference game. Arizona lost a close one to Oklahoma today, blew out Davidson in their first game on Wednesday. Arizona comes into this one 3-3 on the season. But they are a good team. All of their losses are the good teams. They lost to Duke. They lost to Wisconsin, who's undefeated. And they lost today to an undefeated Oklahoma team. So they're good. Don't let their record fool you. They have 2 7-footers. They have Oakland transfer Trey Townsend, who I think Tucker or somebody was trying to get him over to Morgantown, and it didn't work out. But he's really good at basketball. Arizona has Caleb Love, who's preseason first team All Big 12. That's who Sencire Harris will be guarding. This is the third straight opponent in the Bahamas West Virginia faces that wants to play fast. Arizona likes to run. They like to play fast. I told you they got 2 7-footers. They're really good at offensive rebounding. Silver lining here, opponents are shooting a bunch from 3 against Arizona, and they're shooting them at a high percentage. And so that obviously fits what WVU wants to do. WVU they were running on fumes today. So in game 3, what is it going to look like? Javon Small's played 85 minutes of basketball in 24 hours. So can he put the cape on 3 games in a row? Can he Superman it for the entire Bahamas experience? Does Tucker DeVries, does he have one more clutch performance in him? Can Jonathan Powell, the only guy who's scored off the bench, can he get it going out of nowhere? Arizona's 3-3. They do not want to come back to America with the losing record. And my fear, I'll tell you my fear, is that West Virginia gets Arizona in Morgantown in January and that they'll lose this game to set up a revenge game at home in 2025. That's my fear. The counter to that fear is that Arizona is on their 3rd game in 3 days, and they have the shorter turnaround than the Mountaineers. So they've got the 17-hour turnaround where West Virginia played at noon today. So they have over 24 hours of rest, about 24 hours before they play the 3rd place game. Let's be very clear. No matter what the result happened, let's be clear. No matter what happens against Arizona, the Gonzaga win means WVU had a good battle for Atlantis. Yeah, you want to win the game today and play in the championship, but resume-wise, if we get into resume talk, if we're talking WVU's resume in February, in the good wins and bad losses, you're not getting a bad loss coming out of this tournament. And you're definitely getting a great win. You're getting that shows up in the good win resume column. The win over Gonzaga. So win tomorrow. But if you beat Arizona and you get 2 games in the Bahamas and you finish 3rd place in this, I would argue, stacked field, then you're coming back to Morgantown with a little bit of a higher ceiling. Think of my optimistic prediction and add a win. I think that gets West Virginia to maybe 18 wins. And that gets you in the bubble conversation looking at resume talk. So I'm hopeful for that. It's probably going to be rough. It's probably going to be a rock fight. I do think that favors WVU. It's not like Arizona on the 3rd game. They're going to try to be running up and down. Yeah, they might have a deeper bench, but time is time, right? It doesn't matter how deep your bench is. Time, time and time. But I'm calling this trip a success because of the first win against Gonzaga. That's it for this episode of Unreasonable Doubt. Listen on all the platforms, or just pick one: Apple Podcasts, Overcast Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube. Until next time, I'm Josh Witt. Happy Thanksgiving. WVU for the 2024-2025 season. They have 4 wins and they have 2 losses.